welcome back to Forsaken Steel. I'm David. This is my 86 IROC I've been working on for the past several months. This girl's still got that date with Destiny. We got about, I think, 26 days from today before I'm on the power tour. So it means I got about 24 days to actually get this car done. That's not a lot, but it doesn't like nearly as much as it could. I see some of the other guys in the groups I'm in on Facebook. They got a long way to go. So I do too, and I still got to get to work. But what I'm going to do this week for the next several days is I'm going to work as little at my actual job as possible and try to get this thing done so we can drive it. But we are still waiting on wheels. I ordered them from Summit. I don't know. We'll see. They had to come from the manufacturer. I don't know. But at probably the end of this, by the time this video comes out and y'all see it, if I don't have them, I will be looking for an alternative. I don't know what that is. So, but anyways, until then, we're just going to keep thrashing. Today, I'm going to back this thing out. I'm going to try to see if we can't get both of the power windows to work. I have two power window motors. I'm going to try to get those in. I'm going to take the GTO seat that I put in the driver's side. I'm going to take it out, cut those tracks down, see if we can get it to fit better. So then try to get the passenger seat in it too. I just need to be able to get it outside so the doors will open up all the way. Can't really do that in here in this tiny space. So with no further ado, I'm going to get to work. There's so much to do. So anyways, let's do it. Hey, one more thing. I'd like to say congratulations to Chad Brown and RJ Brown. They both ended up winning stickers. I gave two away. That was the only two people that entered. I just made another set and we'll give another set away. So if you guys haven't already contacted me, you can contact me through forsakensteel@gmail.com, and I'll get your info through there and I'll get them mailed out to you. Anyways, let's get to work. Well, I went to start it. The battery's too dead to start the car, so I threw the battery charger on. I'm gonna put the idle air control valve in, and because it was idling so rough, I thought that'd fix that. And I'm also gonna put a TPS sensor on it, throttle position sensor on it, just because it's old and it was totally maxed out. So I just want to kind of see if that helps it. And we'll let this charge for a while. I'm gonna keep on working on stuff though. So I decided to change the idle air control valve. I got it pulled out. It's definitely gummed up in there. It's probably stuck, but the car was idling so erratically. I really think this is bad. So I got one. They're not very expensive. So I'm going to stick it back in. I'm also going to change the throttle position sensor because they've got it maxed completely out and it still idles pretty low. So I'm going to guess that it's probably bad as well. And for like $12 or whatever, it's cheap insurance for the road. So I'm going to put both these in right quick and start it up, see what it sounds like. Got the rest of the amp wiring ran. I've drilled a little bitty hole. It's gonna be hard to see. It's gonna be underneath the AC box outside. Got all this zip tied up, and then the other wires are ran across and over to here. So it's all tucked up and zip tied away. Got to grommet through the firewall, so that's good to go. We find something else to do now. Way down there's where the AC box will mount in the blower motor, but that's where the amp wire comes through. And I've got it tucked in all the way up through here. Turn it around. I've got it zip tied up here by the battery. There's the battery. And for now, we're just going to kind of tuck it back here out of the way. Just we're not going to use it probably for months and months, but it's in here, it's already ran, so when it's time to put in the amp, it'll be super easy. So I backed her outside about noon today, and I had something to go do right quick. It's now almost 7. I just got home, so she's just going back in the house for the day. This one's over. Tomorrow's a new day. We'll start again. It's Thursday now. It's kind of early, but hopefully we can get everything that I was trying to do yesterday done today. I still have some running I have to do today. Even when it's the thing about owning your own business is you're never really taking a day off, even when you're taking a day off, and it is what it is. So I'm going to back this thing out, pull this seat out, see if we can cut the tracks down and get it back in, kind of how we like it, and then I'm going to do the other side, and we'll just keep going until we like it. So I took the seat brackets, I just cut the back mount almost completely off, just left myself enough area to weld on, and then I cut the front foot completely off. I need the seat really to go back further than it was currently going. If it could, I mean, I'm kind of tall, and if it slid back another 1.5 inches, it'd just been great. And the thing is, if it's back too far, I can always slide it forward, but I can't slide it back any further if that's the end of the track. So this is some of the 1/4 inch plate I had left over, 1/8 inch plate or whatever it was, from making the trap door for the gas tank. So I had enough to make 2 front mounts, and I just marked out here kind of where they go, and I'm just going to weld them straight on like that, and I'll end up drilling a hole out here, and I'm just going to weld a bead on the inside and the outside here, and that'll move us back. The original hole would have been approximately there, so yeah, about right there. So I'm actually moving it up just about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, something like that. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, the hole would have been like right there. So we're moving it back quite a bit. We'll see how that works. This may not work at all once the seat's in. The seat may hit in the back. Who knows? But this is the thing about making custom parts, is you just have to, sometimes you have to make them and just see how they turn out. So I'm going to weld this up, and I'll show you all what it kind of looks like when I'm done. All right, so I got these welded on, got some holes drilled in them. It ain't nothing special, but I'm going to test fit it, just see how it fits in the car now. I'll let y'all see it once I get it in there. See the brackets up here kind of hang out. This is actually, I sat in it. This is the best I've ever fit in a 3rd gen Camaro. You know, if you ever thought they might want to sit behind you, they ain't happening. But these cars were never made for a backseat passenger anyways. I do need to adjust the seats leaning back too far, and that's electric, so I'll have to figure all that out still once I get it mounted. But that's we're getting through the fabrication part of it, and the other seat won't be nearly as much fabrication. I'm just going to drop it so it kind of matches, but this actually fits in there really, really well. So now I got to fab up those rear bracket mounts and maybe put a little paint on all that. Then I'll probably have to leave for a while. Maybe this afternoon I can do the other track mount, see how that goes. I'm going back to work. So I got the back part welded on, the little tabs. Got the wire hooked up. It actually, the sliders worked and all that. I had to cut the back bolts off the mounting bolts that were originally back here. I had to cut those off because we needed new holes, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to test fit it. If it fits, I'm going to take it back out again and paint these things up a little bit so they don't rust so bad. So I test fitted again yesterday before I left, and I really didn't get much done after I test fit it, but it did not fit. So this morning, what I did was actually needed to move this hole over, so I just cut that out, and I welded part of that up and welded a tab on. It'll hold. So the front fits now, but the back doesn't. So I've got to figure out what to do back there. You can see right here where it's scratching it. I could drill this hole over and make that hole bigger, but it's going to be almost impossible to get a nut on it. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. It's just going to take a little thought. This is what happens when you build custom cars. Custom cars have custom problems. So, but that's fine. Putting the seat in will definitely be worth it. So I'm going to put my brain power to work and see if I can come up with a solution. So my solution was to cut the stud off, grind that back. I'm going to drill a hole in there. I've got a shouldered bolt that I'm going to put in like, let's see, like so. Weld the top of it in. I can use this the bolt to go through it and the nut just be welded in. So it'll be just fine. I'm actually going to go ahead and test fit that other seat and see what all I have to modify with it, because I can't weld out here. My welder won't reach. So I'm going to see if I can get that one going right quick before I have to move everything to take the car inside to weld this. The passenger seat brackets are completely different from the driver's seat. They're already super low profile because of the way the floor's built on that side. I'm not going to cut the backs down on this one. I just bolted it up and had to drill a couple of holes in the brackets just so we could mount it to have the right width. I'm going to go out and see if I can put this in and see if it'll bolt down. If it will, this one will be pretty much done. I've still got to figure out how to get it to where I can adjust the backs of these seats because they're power, but I'm not using the power bottoms. That I may just actually get the driver's seat kind of fixed up and deal with this one later. I'm just running out of time. Passenger side seat slid right in just by doing the modifications I've done. I'm going to take it back apart. I still got to cut the studs off so it'll slide all the way back. That's no big deal. Let's try to think. I guess then the next thing is to figure out how to adjust the backs on these things without all the computer stuff. So I'm sure I can do it with somehow. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I'm happy that I'll be able to mount them both now. All right, so I think I've got all this switch and stuff figured out. By the way, if you're trying to keep your car 100% GM, make sure you buy Chrysler parts, because this is what come out of the seat. Whatever, it doesn't matter to me. There's some guys out there that flip out about that, though. What do you mean Chrysler parts? But anyways, the motor itself runs off of just those two wires. You reverse the polarity and it moves. Simple as that. So that's what I would look for here. I took this all apart and looked at the circuit board. It was completely and utterly useless because you can't see it all, and I wasn't going to break it. So I just got my meter out, turned it on tone, and I found the wire. So this one seems to be positive in, and these are positive out, but it'd be depending on which one, which direction it goes as to which one of these would get hot. So I'm gonna see if I can figure this out and actually kind of test wire it and get it to work. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. All right, so I've been thinking about it for a while, and that switch is not going to work because that switch originally when it went to the memory seating, which both seats had. So I really needed a reverse polarity type switch. So I went and tried to find one. Can't find one locally. Nobody has them. It is kind of an odd creature. So here's the plan: is I ordered two. They'll be in Monday. Today is Friday, so I still be able to finish that up on this video. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and mount this seat back in, pull the car in, weld that nut in so this thing could be permanent, pull the seat, probably take the car back outside, pull the seat back out of it, pull the passenger seat out of it, see if we can't get the rest of the insulation in the floor, maybe even the carpet. I might do that in here. I don't know. We'll see. It is 96 degrees or something outside, and it rained this morning, so the humidity is 97%. It feels like it's awful. So I'm going to try to be inside as much as I can today. Anyways, I'm going to get back to work. Got the seat back in. I've tried the seatbelt on. Seems to work just fine with where the car sits. I brought the car back in. I got it over as far as I can, so I can work right here. I think I can actually get to this power window motor where it sits too. Maybe even get the carpet inside because it is miserable outside. I'm even going to turn on a fan in here for a little while, and yeah, I'll update y'all when I get something done. All right, I got that nut welded in. By the way, if you're going to weld a nut in, make sure you leave the bolt in it. I did, because I've done this before, and if you don't leave a bolt in it, you will get weld inside the threads, and you got to rethread it. That's a hassle. But the bolt that's in it is pretty much sacrificial, so you want to throw it away. But anyways, The seat's in, bolted down. Everything lines up, it's fine. It's a pain to put in, but it'll go. And now I've got this car in here. I can't get that seat out because I can't get that door open. So I'm actually going to pull it back outside, pull that seat out, then bring it back in, pull this seat out, then clean the floor and try to get the carpet and stuff laid in this car. So that's next. So I'm coming out to the junkyard. I'm going to pull this shifter. It's out of a Cavalier. I know it's not right, but I could always change. I'm going to collect that and pay for part of this with this change. Because, yeah, I'm cheap like that. I'm going to cut this up anyways, but we just really needed the top half. So I'm going to cut this up, but it'll be a little less expensive. I bet there's $2 worth of change here. All right, so this morning, give y'all kind of an update on what all's happened here. Yesterday, we went and bought this Cavalier shifter. I knew it was wrong, but it had the correct style shaft for the shifter knob I bought. I like the later model Camaro shifter knobs better than just the round ball ones. It's just a preference thing. My shifter would have had a round ball, and I don't have a knob for it at all. And as you can see, the top part of this is broke. So I'd pulled this black piece out of another shifter at a junkyard, and I don't know, it came right out. I pulled and pulled and pulled on this thing. It won't come out of there. I don't know what's up with that. So I'd already spent, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half or so on all this. And just without cutting it up and just turning this into a 2-day process, I said, I'm done with it. I need to spend my time doing something else. I went on Camaro Central and ordered a later style shifter. It should be just fine. And we'll stick it in when it gets here. I'm going to pop this one back in after we get the carpet in just for now so we can get the carpet moved around. That's, that'll work for now. But I wanted to fix this before the road trip. I didn't want to have to deal with not having a shifter at all for the whole road trip. That'd be annoying. Also, I want to show you something else. See that? That's ATF, but it's not from the transmission. The gearbox on this car, the steering gearbox, has leaked since day one. It's always leaked. Well, I guess it gave up the ghost and it's just done with life. I bought a kit to rebuild it. I've never rebuilt one. I don't know anything about it other than it looks like a real pain. And it looks time consuming, but we're going to have to rebuild this thing before we go on this trip. So for now, we're going to leave it. I'm going to finish the interior as best I can and get as much of that done as I can. And then we're going to step back out into the engine bay and do some more system works out here that need to work. Yesterday I bought a windshield wiper motor, a brand new one. Actually, it's a reman, but whatever. I got a new one. I didn't get a used one at a junkyard or anything. And I need to get all the AC box and all that back in with the blower motor. And then we're going to switch the early model Camaro drive accessory stuff over to a later model so I can use a single serpentine belt with the new AC components that I've got. So we're wrapping it up quickly out here, but there's still several things to do. And there's things I'd like to do that aren't necessarily, possibly the thing that you just absolutely have to do. Just, not necessities, so to speak. So anyways, I'm going to get back to work. I actually think I'm going to get in there and clean the floor out real good and put the rest of the insulation in and see if I can get the carpet put in this car. And then maybe the back seat and stuff. I'd like to wrap this interior up today or tomorrow. And that'd be the end of this video. It won't be 100% done on the interior, but we'll be close. I know this doesn't look a ton different, but off the front part, now you can't see kill mat on it because it's got this other stuff on it. And this material here is really meant for heat shielding more than sound deadening. So the combination of these two things together make a really nice combo. I had enough to actually go underneath the passenger seat as well, so I went ahead and did that, since the exhaust runs through on that side. You could do the whole floor pan, and I might actually do that when I put carpet in this car. The carpet that I have is just the old carpet, and we're going to throw that in. But eventually I will replace it with new carpet, and when I do that, I'll order it without the juke backing and finish this stuff out on the floor. I feel it's going to do a lot better job than any juke backing's ever going to do. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is run a power and ground for both of the seats, because the seats tilt back with the power and ground, and there's nothing there, so I'm going to have to run that from scratch. So I'm going to build up a little wiring harness for that right quick and see if I can get that in the car. And then from that point, I'm pretty sure the next thing is just going to be install the carpet, and we'll go from that point. I don't know what I'm going to do after that, but that's a huge hurdle, so let's get to it. I wanted to show y'all how I made this loom. I got a nail up here. I just wrapped it around it. I twisted it with the drill, and then I put some tape on it, just kind of hold it from unraveling completely. It's a nice quick way just to keep a couple of wires together. I mean, I think you could do this probably with several wires, but this is how I've done these. But anyways, I'm gonna get on with it. Okay, so I cleaned a little spot off and run us a self-tapper in up here for a ground. And then this is our hot wire. I put an end on it. I heat shrunk it, and we're gonna put it right into that accessory slot, but I'm not gonna do it yet. I'm gonna wait until everything's hooked up. That way we don't accidentally arc this off and blow a fuse for no good reason. So I'm gonna get back to work. So I got all that loomed up, comes out over there. I did heat shrink the ends, like I may have said, I'm not sure. But to buy the ends that already have cladding on them is pretty expensive, and they don't sell just one side. You have to buy both sides. And I got it run all the way across, got it loomed over and into this. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about if I hadn't before. Sorry. Here we go. So let's put some heat shrink on the connectors. That way, because there's not a real plug that's going to go into those. They just slide onto some pins. I just don't want them marking out. I got this carpet wrestled back in. Cut a couple of holes for my new power wires for my seats. These carpets are fairly heavy and kind of hard to get in there, but it's in. You can see the color difference between the old carpet and the new carpet. But the back seat goes right there, so you'll actually never ever see that, like, the line, you know. You'll be able to see them both, but not at the same time, so to speak. So I think the next thing I'm gonna do is put in the back seat belts and then clean that back seat and put it in, get that taken care of. So I bought this seat bottom at the junkyard a while back. The only reason I bought it was because on mine, this little piece where it bolts in was completely rusted off and gone. So I'm just going to take all the hog rings out and strip it down and just put my cover on this one. I think it'll be okay. I'm not qualified for this at all, so we'll see how it goes. Here's a good look at this seat frame. You can see right there's where that little loop's supposed to be. It's long gone. And this thing is rough. So anyways, I'm going to get it apart and we'll get it on this cover on this other frame. All right, so after getting this very disgusting thing off, the rods that go through the back and the sides, which hold it to the seat bottom, are made out of metal, and they just rotted away. So having that other seat cushion, I just went ahead and pulled what was in it out, which is basically rolled up cardboard. I don't know, whatever, I don't care. It'll be good enough for what we're doing. I'm gonna stick this thing back together. All right, yesterday I started trying to put this in. These old ass hog rings, they ain't going back on. So I tried with pliers for like, I don't know, 45 minutes, way too long. So I went out and bought the best money can buy, some Pittsburgh hog ring pliers from Harbor Freight. And then I swung by Tractor Supply because Harbor Freight doesn't sell hog rings, just the pliers. So I went by Tractor Supply and got some rings. Well, that was yesterday. Since then, I have done a pile of stuff that has nothing to do with this car. For a week that I meant to just work on this car this past week. I've done everything but work on this car. But anyways, I'm going to try to get this back together, get this cleaned up and in the car so we can move on. My goodness. Well, there she be. With the hog ring pliers, these on the inside that tuck that in there are a pain. I know this doesn't look the best, but that's the best I can do. This part, not too bad. The whole thing didn't take me maybe 30 minutes to redo. I spent more than that yesterday not getting a single one in. So I want to clean these up right quick and we'll get them in the car. This is how I clean interior in general in a normal situation. I got a Bissell Spot Cleaner Pro Heat. I don't think it heats the water at all, but anyways, first I spray it down with Purple Power. Just like this. Let's turn that dude on stream. Let's get some Purple Power on it. This stuff is nasty. I hit any spots that are in particularly bad shape, which is most of this one. Then I turn my Pro Heat on and I just kind of soak them down with water. Got a little trigger deal here, and it'll spray out some water. I soak them down pretty good. Take a drill brush. Turn my Bissell back on. Suck it out. Not off, out. And I just run this over it until all the water comes out. It's all good and clean. That takes a minute, but anyways, y'all get the point. So if you're curious to see what come out of those seats, there you go. I don't even think that does it justice. It's black almost. Anyways. And that's just the two bottoms. That's not even the back. I want to do the back right quick and let these dry and get them in. There you have it. Officially have a back seat in. It ain't perfect, but it works and it's in. So we're moving along. Someday I'll probably have all this interior recovered by a professional. I am definitely not a professional. So some of you guys will remember, this is the air box that I fixed and then dropped, and then I fixed it again. It's not great, but I'm gonna throw it on this thing it really needs to be replaced, and at some point I will in the future, but we ain't got time for all that right now. Sometimes these things are hard to find that aren't just beat down like this one already is. I even put a little kitty hair or whatever you call it in on the inside to stiffen it up a little more. I'm going to put a piece of kill mat. Actually, I'm going to put 2 pieces of kill mat, or 1 piece and whatever, on the inside right on over here. This is where the engine is, and it gets super hot in there. So I'm thinking if we can kill some of that heat transfer, that'll help the AC system work better. It won't have to struggle as hard. So I know this stuff really helps with heat transfer. After that video I done, where I installed this and I tested it. So I'm going to throw a little of that on the inside and get this installed. The reason why I have to do this now is I need to install the fan and make sure all the vacuum switches and stuff for the AC are hooked up to the correct ports, because once that console goes in, there's no more of that. So I'm going to put that kill mat in, and I'm just going to go ahead and install this, and I'll show you when I've got it kind of wrapped up there. So this blower motor does not fit. It's close, but when you line up the bolt holes, it's missing a whole big section up there. So I'm going to see if I can find one tomorrow morning. First thing, that'll just bolt in. Otherwise, I'll make a plate. I just didn't want to have to make a plate for this. I just wanted to bolt it in and be done. So I'll check on that in the morning. This is going to be it. I'm done for the day. It is late on Monday. I edit on Tuesday morning, so I can have this out to y'all by Tuesday. I really wanted to get more done. I wanted to get the front seats in, but we accomplished a lot, and I accomplished a lot this week that had nothing to do with this. So, well, there you have it. I'm wrapping up this week. I really wanted to get more done. I wanted to finish all the interior this week. That just didn't happen. I did a lot of things that had nothing to do with this car, although this week was supposed to be just this car. So next week, it's just this car. So we'll see if I get to spend more time on it or not. I just have a lot going on all the time. So, yeah, hopefully next week we can get the interior finished up and get the AC on this car. Oh, the wheels are supposed to be in on Wednesday. I'd originally ordered wheels from Summit Racing. They still hadn't given me a date to ship them, much less receive them. And so I started looking around, and Tire Rack said that they had 20 of them in stock. So I went ahead and ordered a set. They're supposed to be here Wednesday. So you're watching this. This comes out Thursday night. The next day, hopefully the wheels will be here. I'm trying to see if I can get my brother to go ahead and switch the wheels and stuff this Saturday. I don't know if he will, but we'll try. So we'll get this car driven some. It's getting close now, folks. It's getting close. But anyways, this is Madison, and she has something to share with you all.
We just hit 100 subscribers! We'd like to thank every subscriber and the people who watch our videos. It means a lot to us. It does. We got 20 subscribers in a week alone. And before you tap off this video, like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications. Bye!
Bye, everybody.